and welcome back to another video. So, we've got another Speedpaint, but this one is a little bit different because instead of being part of this one isn't part of my summer-spring collection. This one's actually a request from a friend, so this Speedpaint and the Sculpt will be working on this, which means it won't be up for download, but it is fucking cool. So, let's get that started, shall we? Alright, so, this is a request piece from a friend of mine, Cyberill, who I will be linking, obviously, in the description below. I don't know if I could do links in the top thing yet, outside of, like, my own videos. Otherwise, I'd do that. But if I can, they'll be linked above. If not, you know, it'll be what the fuck ever. But their links will be in the description below. But this is their character, X51. X51 Gamma, I believe. And they're a cute, tiny, itty-bitty baby robot, and I love them. And you should go check my friend out because they make cool art. But that's not what we're here for today. It's partially what we're here for today. Because, as I said in the last video, the Speedpaint part of these videos are going to start being rants, essentially. The Sculpt will go more into the actual design itself, especially since I didn't actually, obviously, design this character or their outfit. I'm just drawing it so that I can figure it out. So there's not really much for me to talk about other than how cute and adorable they are, but I'll talk more about how cute and adorable they are in the Sculpt. So, that'll be out, you know, next week as per usual, and I'll go into the actual sculpting of said character. But, for the time being, Speedpaint's a rant time. And boy oh boy do I have a fucking rant for you guys! Because there's been something specific that's been pissing me off a lot lately. And at first I'm like, I don't know if I could, like, do a whole 12-minute video talking about this one thing. But at the same time, then I thought about it and I'm like, hold the fuck up, of course I fucking can. The issue isn't, can I talk for 12 minutes about this one thing? The issue will be, can I keep this video under 3 hours? So, in the world of Kitten today, I'm pissed off about live-action remakes. As I'm sure a lot of people are, but there's been so many of them lately, and I hate them so much that I feel the need to talk about how fucking stupid they are. 'Cause they are. Like, I hate live-action remakes so fucking much. They feel so lazy, honestly. Like, they take things that are stylized, especially, and I know I'm not the only one that has problems with live-action remakes, but there is a couple things that I hate that I know is gonna get me lit on fire by a specific community. But you know what? It's hot take time. But my problem, in general, with live-action as a whole, is that they're always taking things that are, like, super mega stylized, and, like, their biggest draw is that they're super stylized and, like, cartoonish, and especially, like, anime, you know, it's cartoons and drawn art in general their draw is that they're drawn and they're stylized and they're super expressive and, you know, things that you just can't fucking do with live action for obvious reasons. And so it pisses me off that they're so everywhere lately. Like, remakes in general are fucking everywhere, and I hate them. And I honestly think that Hollywood is just so far out of ideas right now that they apparently can't make anything that isn't a live action, like, that isn't a remake or a sequel or a prequel or something that's already been made. But live action remakes specifically, like, you lose everything that was honestly good about the original concept, the original thing that they're remaking. Like, you lose the dramatic expressions, you lose the artistic styles, you lose, you know, basically all artistic integrity feels completely lost in live action remakes. And, like, I'm gonna be real mad if you can hear my dog whining in the background right now. But the whole idea of, like, bring X cartoon character into the real world, instead of just, like, if you want to make a movie about a thing, then just put it in the world that it's already fucking in. Like, make cartoon movies. Why is... If you want to make movies about cartoons, then make movies about cartoons. Don't make movies about cartoons and the fucking with all this CG bullshit. I fucking hate CG, and I think it still looks like shit. Especially in a lot of the, like, live-action remakes. Stop that, hands. There are some cases, like, CG has come a long way from where it used to be. Obviously, shit improves over time. And there are some cases where CG looks incredible. In live-action shit that was designed for live-action. But at the same, like, things like Pacific Rim. The CG in that looks incredible. Because that's what it's designed for. It's not taking something that was originally animated and super stylized and, like, really honestly only works in the cartoony style that it's in and tries to make it all realistic and shit. It takes something that was already, you know, it's already realistic. And of course there's in a lot of cases, there's, like, even with how far CG has come, it's still relatively well... Del Toro's as popular as he is because he uses practical effects instead of CG. Because CG still looks like CG. You can tell when there's CG. And CG, honestly, for the most part, it looks like CG. And it looks like shit. There are very specific cases where it looks really good, but most live-action remakes of cartoons are not it. And yes, that includes the Sonic movie! I hate the Sonic movie! I don't think it should have existed. At all. And the Sonic community is probably gonna light me on fire for this, but I hate the Sonic movie. The only exception to any of this was the Detective Pikachu movie. It worked because, honestly, probably because of Ryan Reynolds. Because he made... Like, it still didn't look good, and quite frankly, I'd still rather just watch an actual animated Pokemon movie, because Pokemon looks better animated, because it's cartoony and stylized, and that's how it looks best, and that's how it should frankly stay. But the writing was good enough in Detective Pikachu to make it work. And I don't know. I like the Detective Pikachu movie, but I would still honestly rather have had it animated. I still think it would have been better animated. But that's that. I think Detective Pikachu was a good movie, but I also think it still probably would have been better animated, because Pokemon is an animated, cartoony, stylized thing, and it looks best when it's in a Pokemon style. That's all there is to it. The Sonic movie is just fucking garbage, and I won't touch it. But, like, in general, I think live-action remakes are lazy and stupid. And in a similar, like, look at the Lion King live-action remake. Live-action, it's CG. Or the fucking Mulan live-action remake. Like, all of them are bad. They're bad, and they're lazy, and they lose all of the integrity and, like, the best parts of what made the original movie good. And quite frankly, the original movie was fine on its own. It didn't need a fucking remake. In a similar note, but, like, yeah. On a similar note, the gritty live-action remakes that have been happening so much lately have also been pissing me off. Like, it is not exactly a hotly debated topic that the Winx gritty reboot is fucking hated by literally everyone because it just didn't need to happen. Everything about it is bad, and it proves my point that Hollywood is just honestly a cesspool of echo chambers and money grubbing with no artistic integrity. And honestly, I don't know if Hollywood ever had any artistic integrity. You could say Hollywood has lost its artistic integrity, but I don't honestly think it had any to begin with. But that's just my opinion, and I have peaked my mic during this video so many times, I'm gonna have to fix the audio so badly. But anyways, my point is live-action remakes suck and they need to stop happening. Just, period. They just need to stop happening. Keep the stylized shit stylized. Keep cartoons as cartoons, and stop remaking literally everything. Come up with some new ideas. Like, there are so many people out there with so many different ideas, but because Hollywood is just constantly pulling from the same, like, 20 people, it's all boring garbage shit. And, like, and the worst part is that there is actually some stuff, currently cartoonish stuff, that could actually work for live action. Because, like, it's not super overly expressive or stylized, and, like, its entire draw isn't the fact that it's super stylized, like Sonic. Sonic's biggest draw, for me at least, and I'm sure for a lot of people, is just how crazy, wild, like, colorized and just kind of batshit it is. And so the whole putting that in a real world situation with live action and CG and all that garbage, it loses its Sonicness, in my opinion. But there are some things out there that could actually work as live action, but that's never the shit that Hollywood picks to do live action movies of. Like, things that are more life-focused rather than style-focused could work. Like, I probably should have thought of some actual fucking examples of this before starting it, but there's shit out there. I can't think of it right off the top of the head. Off the top of my head right now. I'll probably add something in editing or post, whatever it is, like some examples of shit that could potentially work for live action, as opposed to making super stylized things live action. But I don't know, man. I hate live action remakes. I hate remakes in general. I hate the constant fucking sequels and shit going on right now. I hate everything that's kind of like coming out in movie terms right now, because I think it's all kind of just repetitive, boring ass fucking garbage, honestly. I think cartoons should stay cartoons and live action should stay live action, and actually, not even. Live action shit could work in cartoon, but cartoon shit cannot work in live action. Period. End of story. But all in all, at the end of the day, I think it's all just lazy garbage. And it's been pissing me off. So, that's, this video's ended now. Speedpaint, Rant. I don't want it to go too far over the video itself, because 12 minutes is honestly a pretty good length for a video. Especially for a Speedpaint. Anyways, so yeah, this is the new format for Speedpaints. It's just rant time. And like I said in the last video, it's not always going to be related to the art, but once the actual speed sculpt, I will go more into all of this. Because it is a super cute character, and my friend does a lot of really great art. So they will be linked in the description below. and you should go check them out. They draw a lot of cute robot art, and including X51 here. Anyways, this has been Kitten Rant time. That's enough talking from me. Thanks. Remember to, remember to do all that like and comment and subscribey stuff. Obviously, it helps with the algorithm, which, hates me right now, and is probably going to continue to hate me. I will probably never be a channel that YouTube likes. So any help that I could get will be helpful. That's enough for me. Bye!